Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. For the next series of videos, we're going to be solving some questions in Fortran, and yeah, let's get started. The first question that we're going to be solving is a compound interest question. I'm sure you've seen it. A person deposits $1,000 in a bank and the interest is compounded at the rate of 1% per month. We are asked to compute the monthly balance, the annual balance, and print out the total amount after 10 years. The second question is, at the rate of 12% per year, compute the 10 years balance. So while I already listed out some of the variables we are going to define, the first one is initial amount, the second one is rate, third one is time. So let's define that in our file, in our Fortran file. So I'm using VS Code, as you can see. We're going to start with naming our program. I talked about this. I talked about the basic syntax of Fortran and everything in a video I made months ago. You should watch that if you don't understand what all this means. I explained implicit none, what implicit none does, and all everything like that. So name of our program is going to be a compound. I'm just going to name it a weird name, a compound a balance. Very weird name. So let's define our variables. We have integers and we have real values. I also mentioned what an integer and what a real value is in the video, the basic syntax video. So watch it. I'm going to leave the description or the link in the description below. So the first variable we're going to talk about is the initial amount. I'm going to call it the amount. We're going to put that in real, because we can end up with values like 3,000 point something, values with decimal places. Basically, we can end up with values with decimal places, and that's the basic, or the only difference between an integer. That's the difference between an integer and a real number. Real numbers can, when you print out a real number, you'll be able to get the decimal places or the decimal values, while when you print out an integer, you're going to round up the whole number. You're going to round it up to a whole number. So we define amount as 1,000. Our rate is also going to be in the real, because we're having something like 0.01, because the first question says that at the rate of 1% per month, at the rate of 1% per month, and 1% per month is 1 divided by 100, which is 0.01. And for our integer, we're going to have 2 times, the year time and the month time. So let's put that there. Year time, which is going to be 10 years, and the month time, which is going to be 12. It's going to be 12 months. Let's define what we're about to do. Just call that print. We're going to display that on the terminal. Print to calculate the balance after 10 years. balance of a $1,000 deposit, after 10 years per month. Now we are going to also calculate some variables, which are interest per month, which is the rate times the amount, and the balance after every month, which is going to be the amount and the interest per month, the amount plus the interest per month. So let's calculate that. Let me just put that in a comment in our stuff. Then okay, comment this out. Okay, we've commented that out. So we're going to write, also make those variables as well. Interest per month, interest going to be equals to the rate multiplied by the amount, and the balance after every month, balance after month is going to be the amount in addition to the interest per month. Stop. So the balance after month is amount plus interest per month. Okay, so let's do that. Let's see what we're going to get after, once we multiply the rate and the amount together as interest per month, and let's just see what we get, because I want to know what is the interest per every month, like what is the amount of the interest per every month, then balance after every month. Okay, yeah, we're meant to define this, so I'm going to paste this here, then define this. So okay, let's run this. Okay, we can see that the interest per month is $10, and the balance after every month is 10 plus the initial amount, which is $1,000, which is $10,010. Yes, so let's go back to our drawing board. The question is, at the rate of 1% per month, compute the monthly balance. So monthly balance is going to be, okay, what is the balance after maybe January, what is the balance after February, what is the balance after the third month, what is the balance after the 10th month. So we're going to do something we call an iteration similar, something about, is also known as maybe looping through something. 12 months we are going to run through. So this is how the process would look like. Starting from here, it's going to calculate for month 1, it's going to calculate for month 2, it's going to calculate for month 3, all the way to month 12. The amount here, the amount in 1 is going to be $1,000, which is the initial amount we're going to start with. And the rate is going to be $10. Amount, let me just say AMT is going to be $10, and the interest per month is going to be $10. And when we add that together, that's going to give us 10,010 naira, $10,010, which is going to be the amount for the next month. $10,010 for the next month. The interest is going to be different because we're going to multiply 10,010, which is the new amount, and the rate, which is the constant rate, which is 0.01, and we're going to get another value here. This value we're going to get, we're going to get another value here. When we add them together, we're going to get a new amount, and the new amount is going to be the initial amount for this year, and so on and so forth until we get to the 12th month. So let's do that. So we're going to create something like a loop. It's like going to go from, okay, I'm going to calculate 1, then go to 2, then go to 3, then go to 4, then go to 5, then up to when it gets to 12. And to do that, we're going to use something we call a do loop, which is similar to the for loop in Python. I'm going to call this I. Then we're starting from month 1 to 1 month. Okay, month's time. Let me just write month time. So month time, which is here. Month time is here, which we called which is 12. Month time is 12. So let's put that there. We're going to copy this and put it inside this place. Now, balance after every month is going to be the amount plus the interest per month. One thing that remains for us to add is going to be because as we're running the loop from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5, the computer doesn't know that we are adding to this initial amount. Computer doesn't know, so we have to tell the computer that, okay, after 1 month the initial amount is going to change. The initial amount is going to change after the 2nd month. The initial amount is going to change after the 3rd month. How can we let the computer know that? We're going to redefine this amount we defined here by saying amount is equals to balance after month. So once this calculates this one, we're going to get interest per month. We're going to get, okay, for the 1st month, the interest per month is going to be 10, like we calculated here in the terminal. Calculated $10 here, interest per month, and the balance after the month was, we calculated $10,010. So what we're doing here again, let me explain this sequence again, this line again. We're telling the computer that, okay, we've calculated for the 1st month. Now, what is going to be the initial amount for the 2nd month? What's going to be the initial amount for the 2nd month? So we're going to tell the computer that, okay, the initial amount for the 2nd month is going to be the balance after the 1st month, which is $10,010. You can try it without doing this, without adding this line, and see what you get. You see that you'll be getting the same answer over and over again. Now let's print out. Let's print out. Okay, we're going to print out the interest. Okay, let me just return that there. So we're going to print out the interest per month so that we can have an idea. Interest per month. We're going to print out the balance per month, balance after month, and we're also going to print out, okay, I think that's it. We're just going to print out those 3. Okay, we have not defined I is an integer. We're going to be running this I is going to be running from 1 to 2 to 3 to, so this I is this is this 1, this 2, this 3, is this 4. So it's going to be running from 1 to month's time, which a month time is 12. So we're going to put I in the integers data type. So let's run that again. We'll see that we will get how many? We're going to get 12 rows. So let me just make that visible. Okay, see, 1 to 12. So the interest per month for the first month is $10, and the balance after the month was $10,010 and $10. And the interest after the first month, which is in the interest during $0.09, and the balance after the month was $1,020, $0.09998, and so on and so forth. We saw that the interest at the 12th during the 12th month was $11.156, and the interest after that month was the balance after the month, sorry, the balance after the month was $1,126.82520. Now let me comment this out and show you what I meant when I was saying that if we don't put this, the computer will be returning the same answer because it is stuck to this same amount, which is 1,000. Okay, let's run that. You can see that, okay, we're getting the same answer every year. So this is necessary here to receive that now and run it again. Yeah, so now we've computed, we've answered the first part of the first question, which is compute the monthly balance. Now I want to compute the annual balance. Annual balance is yearly balance, and for how many years? Is 10 years. We're going for 10 years. I'm going to draw one line here so we can understand the second.
This is the top result.
We're going to draw the second part of, I'm going to make an illustration for the second part of the first question, which is compute the annual balance. So we have 10 years, and similar to what we did for the 12 months, I'm going to iterate over the 10 years. So we have year 1, we have year 2 up to year 10. For year 1, we have 12 months in a year. I have 12 months in a year up to 12. I have 12 months in a year, and we have 12 months in a year here. And for year 2, we have 12 months also in year 2 up to 12. So what we're going to do is, once we iterate, we're going to run. The process is going to come like this down. Let me remove this so it's not confuse us. Let me remove the 10. It's not confuse us. The process is going to come down. The first thing is the process is going to do is going to come to 1, to the first year. We're going to go to the first year, then run everything in this first year first before we go to the next year. Once we're done with this first year, the process is going to move on to the second year, then run everything you have to run in the second year. It's like let's say like months going back. Let's say for January, we're going to go from January 2020 to February 2020 to September 2020 till December 2020, then go to January 2021, then go to December 2021 before we get to January 2022. It's just running. Once it gets to that first year, it's going to run the 12 months in that first year before it moves on to the next year. That's what we want to achieve in our code. So let's go back to the code. We're going to comment this out. Like I said, we are going to iterate over those 10 years. So let's create another do loop. Our index, we're going to use J so as not to confuse the compiler with this I we have here. I'm not going to use I. So we're going to start from year 1 till year time, which is 10 year over this place, 10 year. So now we've created the do loop for that for the 10 years rather. And okay, since there's no process we're going to run before we run this guy here, before we run this 12 months, so we're going to insert this 12 months loop into this 10 years loop. Let's comment that out and let's fix our indentation. Good. So this is going to come. So okay, what I just did right here is called a nested loop. A nested loop is a loop inside another loop. So that's why it's called nested. Is the loop is inside a parent loop. Let's call this the parent loop, and this is the child loop. Yeah. So once the compiler is running, it's going to come to this for loop, this do loop rather. Going to come to this do loop, then go to year 1. Then for that year 1 is going to run the 12 months loop for year 1 before it moves on, before it comes back to year 2, to year 3, to year 4, to year 5, to year until it gets to year 10. So let me just make a significant let me signify that okay, this is year 1 year. Let me print. So we're going to print a year and show that okay, this is year so year J, because J is 1, this is J. J is 1, J is 1, J is 1, J is 2, J is 3. As is iterating, it is as is looping over the number of years till it gets to 10. Yeah, 1 year 2. Okay, and let me create a bar so to be able to differentiate it very well. This is going to give us a very long answer. We're going to get about 120 lines. Even no, we're going to get about 10 or 130 lines of results. So let's see what we get. Let me save this. Then okay, yes, again we're going to put this J here, similar to what I said about the I in this one. Save it. Okay, save it and run the code. Yeah, so let me show you. For year 1, it processed for year 1, then went on to year 2. You can see what I said earlier. Processed for year 1, it now did the for loop for the 12 months. Then it processed for year 2, did the 12 months till we go to year 10. Then it did the final loop, the final 12 months loop. Yeah, so that was it. Now the question didn't ask us to print out for the 12 months, for the 12 months and 10 years. That was just we should compute it. Then the final question is we should print out the total amount after 10 years. Total amount after 10 years is going to be equals to this. It's going to be equals to balance after the 12th month of the 10 year. Let me write down now the total. Let's see here. Total amount after 10 years is going to be equals to the the balance, the amount slash slash the balance after the month, slash the balance after the month. I'm going to abbreviate it there. After the 12th month of year 10. It's going to be the amount after the 12th month of year 10, because okay, the guy is coming back in the 12th month of year 10 to withdraw his money. What is he going to find in the bank to withdraw? That's what we are asked to print. So let me comment out all these print statements we did earlier. Then we're just going to come to the end of the loop, the outside of this of the parent loop. Then just make a print statement. I'm going to say fine, print out amount. I'm going to print out the amount. Now let's see what that gives us. Oops, where's my terminal? Okay, we can see that the final amount is $3,300.3877. Now let's make that more appealing. Total, or what was the question? Total amount after 10 years. Total amount is equals to the amount. So some of you might be wondering that, okay, why am I saying the amount here and our amount here is $1,000? Why the amount here is different from the amount here is that we've done all the work inside this do loop, and like I said earlier, we had to redefine the amount inside the do loop to the balance after the month. And what this do loop does is that, okay, I'll come to year 1, like I said earlier. I'll come to year 1 and I'll run over the months in year 1 and get my final answer. My final answer is the initial amount I'm going to carry into the next month, into the next year, which is year 2, month 1, and that's the value I'm going to use for that particular month. Then the initial amount I'm going to use for the month 2 is going to be the amount I got from the balance after the month of month 1. Yeah, so let's just save that and print it and get our answer. So total amount of after 10 years is 3,000. Okay, let me put $3,300.387. Good. Now for the second question is at the rate of 12% per year. Compute the 10 years balance. So let me clean this up because we don't have space on our drawing board again. Let me delete everything here. Delete. Now the question is, at the rate of 12% per year, we have a new rate. Okay, let me use pen for that. I have a new rate, which is rate per year is equals to 12%, which is also equals to 0.12, because that would 12 divided by 100, 0.12. Our time is 10 years. the time is 10 years. Time is 10 years. You should compute the 10 years balance. So the difference between the first question and the second question is the rate, the point at which the rate is happening. Because the first question said at the rate of 1% per month. At the rate of 1% per month. This one is acting at the rate of 12% per year. Compute the 10 years balance. So for 1 year, like, oh, I've cleaned it off. For the interest per year is going to be equals to the rate per year multiplied by the initial amount, or the amount multiplied by the initial amount, and the balance after every month, after every year rather, because we're doing it yearly. Tax us the 12% per year. We're doing it year after year is after every year. Year is the amount, or the initial amount, plus the interest per year. So let me copy this and comment it out in our question 2. Okay, let's just take question here, a comment here. Question 2. We'll make a print statement and say that to calculate after 10 years per year instead of per month. So let's put this here. Okay, no, interesting. Put this here. We're going to be using the same variables, except that we just have to change a few things. Like the instead of rate, I'm going to say rate per month, because I don't want it to be mixing up with rate per month. Then also anywhere we have rate, we change it to rate per month. I don't want it to confuse us. And then we'll also have to create another real value or variable and say rate per year is equals to 0.12, which we said here. Rate per year 0.12. You can still use the year time. The year time is still the same. So to calculate our interest per year, always multiply the rate per year with the initial amount, and our balance after every year is going to be the initial amount plus the interest per year. And we asked that after 10 years, what would be the balance, the total balance. So like I said earlier, iteration, we're going back to iteration, because we're going to do it over 10 years. They didn't ask us over 1 year, like what would be the balance after a year. Assuming if we're asked to compute the balance after 100 years, we can make that possible with what we call iteration. I'm going to look over the years, like from year 1 to year 2 to year 3 to you get to year 10. So for that iteration, to make the iteration possible, we're going to create another do loop. Our index is going to be k. I don't want it mixing up with this guys have made. I'm going to define that integer here as well. I'm going to start from year 1 to year time, and our year time is 10. Yes, I'm going to put the interest per year, in here, and say is equals to the rate per year multiplied by the amount, our amount here. I'm going to say that the balance after year is going to be equals to interest per year plus the amount. So I want to print it out 10 times. I'm going to put it inside the loop. I'm going to put it inside the loop. If we put it outside the loop, we only get one value, but when it's inside the loop, we're going to get the amount of the times we say you should loop over, the amount of items we said the compiler should loop over, which is year time, and year time is equal to 10. So it's going to create 10 different values. Oh, before we print that out, we're going to make, like I said here, like I made notice of it here, that if we do not make the computer to know that our amount is changing after every iteration, it is going to give us the same answer. Let me do that here again so that you guys will notice. Let me comment this out so that we only get the value of that guy. So we're going to say amount is equal to balance after year. So for that, let's make, okay, I made a mistake here. I'm going to correct it now. I said initial amount and I put amounts there. These guys are going to be clashing. So let me just define initial amount here, or year amount. Year amount is going to be equals to 1000 as well. Then change every amount to this place to year amount. Let me change this one. Change this one as well to year amount. So let's print out the number of times we are going to print it out. This is going to show us how many times it's printing out. We're also going to print out the interest per year, and also we're going to print out the year amount. Let's see. Okay, we've not created these guys. Let me just put them here. The interest per year and the balance per year is going to be also going to be a real value, and balance per year going to be a real value. Let's save that and use it. Okay, let's save that and run it. Errors. Okay, so the reason why I got that error was, I'm guessing, because this line was getting too long, so I broke it down into another line here. So we'll just put this print statement because we want to get the 10 values. I'm going to comment out these guys here. I'm going to comment all out the first question, so it won't be confused by, would not be confused by the first question. We just want to focus on the second question for now. Okay, you can see that for the first year the interest per year was $120, and we got the balance after that year was $1,120, and it went on till it got to year 10. Yeah, Sion stated that we should compute and print out the total amount after 10 years. Let's do that. So just cut this and do it the same way we did the first question. Then print. Let me copy this. Total amount after 10 years. Total amount, let me put per year to differentiate it. Per year. Let me now put 12%. And put per month. Now put 1% is year amount. Okay. I'll print this out. You should be getting total amount per year. 12% after 10 years is $3,105.8476. Yeah. So let me uncomment this out. Let me uncomment this, guys. Then okay, this one also comment out. I'll save that. Then we'll run it. And I see that. Okay, let me put a dash here, so it will break off these guys. I don't want it's getting too cluster there. Just put this one here, then maybe another one. Yes, now let's print that. Yes, so the first question is calculate the balance of per month. We had total amount per month of 1% after 10 years is $3,300 .387770, and the balance of $1,000 after 10 years per year is $3,105.874766. That will be the answer. So that is all for everything. And so if you have any inquiries, just let me know down in the comment section below.